had to speak at a school called RICA. RICA stands for the Regional Institution of Children and Adolescents, right? It's a highly intensive school environment. It's actually students lived at this place, or students who have behavioral problems, and I was speaking at this school. Before I got up to speak, there was a student there who was making jokes and disturbing the assembly. And I could tell this was what he normally did by the way people reacted. The students were laughing, and the faculty kept scorning him. Like they would move him closer to them, and I just saw myself, right? So when I got up to speak, my opening remarks after I thanked the people for having me, I said, "Hey, what's your name?" So I spoke to the kid, and I asked him his name. He said, "My name is so-and-so." I said, "Let me ask you something." And he immediately got defensive because he says, "Oh, he gonna come at me saying you need to know how to behave yourself in a public place. You gotta know." And there wasn't none of that. I was like, "Can I tell you something?" I said, "I was a clown all my life, and nobody understood me." I said, "Let me ask you a question. Do you like making people laugh?" And he was so blown about it. Nobody ever asked him that. He's like, "Yeah, kinda." It was so weird. So I'm conversing with this. I'm supposed to be giving a speech. I'm conversing with this kid. I said, "Do you like comedy?" He said, "Yeah, I like comedy." So I started naming comedians during that time. And he knew him. He's like, "Yeah, he's funny, man. Oh, I got his table." He's like, we having a conversation. I'm supposed to be speaking to everybody. I'm talking to him. So I said to him, I said, "Listen, they only gave me 15 minutes to speak. I probably used 4 of them on you already. I said, I'll give you another 5 minutes of my speaking time for you to come up here and make us laugh as long as your jokes are clean. You give clean jokes, you can come up here, and you can't get in trouble because I asked you to do it." That kid came up to where I was, started cracking jokes. He had one-liners. He had this stuff in his repertoire. I remember one of his one-liners. He came up, when he left, everybody was clapping, he laughed, and this is what I told him as he went to his, because nobody had ever aimed him before. Do you understand what I'm saying? When he went back to his seat, I said to him, I said, "This world needs somebody to help them to laugh, and God's going to use you to do it." I'm not even his father. That's why I want to say to y'all, see, some of y'all been listening to this message, you say, "I ain't got kids." You don't have to have kids. You're in the village. If you're in the village and you see innate mastery in a child, it's your responsibility. You don't have to be a school teacher. I don't care what you are. If you see a child, it can be your nephew, your niece, your neighbor. I see that in you, and I encourage you in that. You don't have to have a child. You just have to have eyes to see. They're waiting on somebody to say, "I see that in you."